We are Blackboard. We are Wisconsin.
Another gorgeous Sunday afternoon for baseball as we welcome you to Cincinnati, Ohio, where the Brew Crew are red hot. Yes, indeed, ready to take on the Reds, going for a sweep this weekend. They won the doubleheader yesterday, and that Brewer dugout and clubhouse very happy for what's transpired despite all the rain delays, the unexpected doubleheader, all that gets washed away when you win, and that's what happened yesterday, and they're trying to make it 7 in a row overall as we welcome you to the broadcast here on this Sunday afternoon. I'm Craig Kashan alongside Bill Schroeder. And Rocca, one of the heroes out of many yesterday for Milwaukee, Elian Herrera, the late inning home runs in each game yesterday. And I'm telling you what, that guy can boom that ball. We saw it yesterday big time.
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, since his return, Elian Herrera has kind of been unsung, playing at second and third base. But in the doubleheader yesterday, 4 hits, a couple of home runs, a home run in each end of the doubleheader. Both of the home runs came late and really separated the Brewers from the Reds in those games. He got 7 for the season, 5 RBIs. He's got 30 RBIs in 50 starts this year. That's how he's been swinging the bat. He scored 4 runs in yesterday's ball game, and wherever he plays, whether it be second base, third base, certainly plays a big part in what's been going on. The defense has been terrific. This is a guy that was DFA, designated for assignment early in the season. He's back doing well.
Speaking of backups, how about the relief corps in yesterday's doubleheader? Telly Hughes breaks it down and their importance when we come back.
Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Can the Brewers make it a broom service Sunday in Cincinnati after sweeping yesterday's doubleheader to match the team's longest winning streak at Great American Ballpark with 6 straight victories? Good afternoon from Cincinnati, where the Brewers have enjoyed a lot of success over the last 6 games. 6 also happens to be the number of the crew's current winning streak, in spite only getting 6 2/3 innings from their starters combined yesterday in the doubleheader sweep. The Brewers bullpen accounted for the other 11 1/3 innings and performed remarkably. A total of 10 out of the pen were used, with the relievers being the old reliables once again.
But the guys in the bullpen, you know, they all pitched. They all did a great job. We were laughing, you know, when they all pitch the day before, that means the next day is, you're worried about the next day always. But that's the life of a bullpen guy. And so, you know, they've been, you know, in this win streak, it's we've counted on them a lot, and then they've delivered.
The Brewers are looking to secure their 2nd consecutive series sweep over a Central Division foe. The crew is ready to take a crack at it. Craig and Rocker on deck with the first pitch and call next from Cincinnati.
Back here in Cincinnati, another hot, humid day for baseball. Temperature about 84 now, expected to be close to 90 before we're done. Craig Kishon, Bill Schroeder, Telly Hughes with you here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. The Brewers going for the sweep of the Reds here today. Craig Counsell's crew getting the doubleheader win yesterday, and his overall record getting closer back to the 500 mark because his team has won 6 in a row as well. So Scooter Gennett will lead off for Milwaukee. This is a look at the Brew Crew's batting order here today. Scooter Gennett starting out at second base. Of course, Jonathan Lucroy will bat second. Ryan Braun back in right field. Adam Lynn will clean up. Chris Davis in left. Shane Peterson gets the start out in center field. Hit his first major league home run yesterday. Gene Segura at short. And Elian Herrera ahead of Jimmy Nelson. Herrera in the series, 2 of his 4 hits are the long ball, and he's got 5 RBIs already as well. The Reds just hitting the field now, and it's Kids Day here on Sunday like it is back in Milwaukee, where the kids get out on the field with the players and go through the introductions, get some autographs, and a big opportunity for those guys. Boy, I tell you what, that is some fun stuff right there.
Yeah, Michael Lorenzen, the starting pitcher, signing autographs right there on the mound. That's got to be a big thrill for these kids.
They must tell them you have to run really fast when you're done and get off the field.
Yeah, hurry up, we're going to start.
There they go. That'll be a good opportunity for them, obviously. And Rock, the Brewers are hot and trying to stay hot against this rookie starting pitching lineup that continues for the Reds. And the Brewers really have had good success against them last weekend in Milwaukee, and then the 2-game sweep in the doubleheader yesterday, and trying to sweep this Reds team for the second time this season in Cincinnati.
Yeah, the offense has been very good. I mean, it's been good for a while now, and Brewers with big run totals over the 2 games of the doubleheader as Michael Lorenzen gets ready for his 19th start, 21st appearance for him. He got sent down to the minor leagues after he lost 6 straight decisions. Went down to the minor leagues, made 3 starts, threw the ball pretty well, and he's back. His last start at the big leagues was August 11th against the Cubs. 5 earned runs, 4 2/3 innings, and making start number 3 career against Milwaukee.
And so Scooter Gennett, Jonathan Lucroy tap bats, and they are ready for baseball here at Great American Ballpark. Brilliant sunshine. There's a big Labor Day Riverfest celebration that's going to get underway later today. So the Ohio River is getting stacked up and looks more like a parking lot with boats out there. They're going to have a big fireworks display, and they expect about 500,000 people tonight.
Both sides of the river, right?
My goodness. But it's Labor Day weekend, and hope everyone's safe and enjoying some time with the family. We are underway here in Cincinnati as Scooter Gennett takes a whack at that first pitch and fouls it back. Scooter at 270 on the season with 6 home runs and 29 RBIs. Gennett batting .303 since being recalled from AAA. That 300 average that he's going through right now, this great run he's on, very much resembles what he did at the plate a year ago.
And resembles what the Brewers offense has been doing the last couple of weeks. Seems like everybody has been raising their batting average substantially. Scooter Gennett and Jonathan Lucroy, 2 guys that have really gotten hot. Averages near what they expect them to be.
And Gennett opens up with a single to left field. He's had a good series. 3 hits coming in from the doubleheader action yesterday. So Scooter Gennett out at first base.
Check out the Menards Reds defense. DeJesus, Bourgeois, and Bruce in the outfield. You got Frazier, Suarez, and Phil is pretty good up the middle. Joey Votto over at first base and making his first start as a Cincinnati Red. Ramon Cabrera behind home plate. You can see how versatile DeJesus has been. Starts at 5 different positions.
Yeah, the outfield spot wasn't something on the radar until this season, and he's become that super utility guy, much like an Elian Herrera that we talked about off the top. Herrera's made his name because defensively he can play in a lot of places. Here's Jonathan Lucroy, the Brewer catcher. Had an 11-game hitting streak snapped in game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday. 9 for 31 against Cincinnati pitching this season. Good for a .290 average.
Yeah, the thing I like about that game 2 victory for the Brewers in that doubleheader is the fact that Braun Lucroy Davis not in the starting lineup yesterday. Still able to score some runs, get a win. Didn't have to use Braun, didn't have to use Lucroy at all.
Well, the Brewers don't have doubleheaders come around too often. That was the first in a couple of years. And just to see, now it's one thing to win, and they won both games yesterday, so you feel that much better about yourselves. But the fact that every position player played in both games between the two, and all 9 relievers, as we mentioned off the top, had a significant role in both the victories, since both starters, one by performance and another because of weather, had short starts.
And they needed all those relievers. The short start again by Matt Garza, and the rain shortened Willie Peralta's start. Only 2 innings for him.
And in case you didn't hear the news after game 1 yesterday, the Brewers are shutting down Matt Garza for the rest of the season. So he is done for the year after yesterday's start. Two-one to Lucroy. And Jeanette goes, and now he stopped and caught in the middle between first and second base. Going to keep the Reds active here. And they get Jeanette. Maybe a missed sign. Not sure.
Thought it was a double, hit and run, perhaps. Yeah, Jeanette looking in and stopped about 3/4 of the way down, and easy out. You don't see too many hit and runs these days. That was about halfway. He stopped, decided to go back. 2 to 4 to 3 to 6 to 4. Not the way to draw it up, but they got the out.
That fills up the box in my scorecard. Put all those numbers. Yeah, yesterday Logan Schaefer did a very similar thing, it looked like. Took off from second base and then stopped and retreated. He ended up getting back to first. Lucroy hits it hard center field. Bourgeois is right there though for the second out.
Yeah, Lorenzen, a 4-pitch pitcher. He, down in the minor leagues, he was pretty good. He's using a sinking fastball. His fastball's straightened out a little bit as a big leaguer. He's been getting hit pretty hard. A .566 earned run average. They changed his mechanics a little bit, and that basically straightened out his fastball quite a bit. Fastball, he'll sink it, change up, slider, and a curveball.
There's Ryan Braun, takes a whack at the first pitch, straightaway center again for Bourgeois. And the Brewers, despite the opening hit from Jet, end up going 1-2-3. The finale of this 3-game series. Brian Price, second-year manager for the Reds. His team has seen its struggles this year, no question about that. Last place in the National League Central Division. The Brewers have passed them up now and created some distance with the doubleheader win yesterday. It's Bourgeois, Frazier, and Votto first to see Jimmy Nelson in the first inning. Then Phillips, Bruce, DeJesus. Suarez has had a nice series and played a nice shortstop. And Cabrera behind the plate ahead of Michael Lorenzen, the starting pitcher for Cincinnati, and Jimmy Nelson on the mound for Milwaukee. Rock.
Yeah, he's on a roll. He's 8-2 in his last 13 starts. Actually, even the no decisions, the Brewers have been able to pick up wins. The team is 10-3 in his last 13 starts, making start number 5 against Cincinnati. Appearance number 7. He's 1-1 so far this year. Beat the Pirates his last time out. Looked pretty good. 7 innings, 1 earned run.
Yeah, no walks compared to the career high AT gave up against Cleveland in that previous start. So we have seen, minus Willie Peralta yesterday because the weather got the best of his start, but Peralta pitched his best of the season in a bounce back effort, and so has Nelson, one of his better efforts as well. But this guy's really kind of hitting the prime right now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 8-2 since a 3-8 start. He's got that record over 500, 11-10, earned run average at 370. He's been throwing the baseball pretty well.
And a comebacker to Nelson. And an easy first out to start the game against Jason Bourgeois.
Yep, and let's check out the Menards Brewers defense. You got Shane Peterson getting a start out in center field. It's been a while for him. Domingo Santana sits this one out. So it's Davis and Braun on the corners. Herrera, we talked about him on our open, swinging the bat well. Segura and Jeanette up the middle. Adam Lind has always had good success against Cincinnati, and Jonathan Lucroy back behind home plate.
Here's Todd Frazier, the third baseman. All-star starting third baseman for Cincinnati, as the Midsummer Classic was right here this year at Great American Ballpark. Won the home run derby. Maybe hasn't been quite the same since then, or maybe at least the second half of the season. Fouls this one, and it's just going to reach into the seats.
And he's still having a solid season, a chance for 100 RBIs. He's already got 30 homers, 78 RBIs. Good year for him. Good defensively. We saw him very good in game one over at third base.
Today is Todd Frazier Day in Hamilton County at the ballpark. He was honored beforehand for his community service, and also winning the home run derby, kind of bringing the city together was their honor here today. Nice honor for a ball player.
Absolutely deserves it. Yeah, Cincinnati sits right in Hamilton County.
Frazier was only the second player since the home run derby has taken place since Ryne Sandberg back in 1990 to win the home run derby in his home All-Star Park. Took on the pressure well, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
The Prince fielder, Josh Donaldson, Jock Peterson. Slow roller, bare hand Herrera. Nice play.
He's been terrific. You talk about a guy that was very close to having his career ended with the Brewers. They designated him for assignment. He elected to go down to the minor leagues. You know the story, but boy, since he's come back, he's been terrific. 7 home runs, driving in 30 runs. He's driven in 30 runs in 50 starts. That's not too bad, and making some very good plays at third and second.
Here's Joey Votto. Asked Craig Counsell before the game today about Herrera and how he's had a very good season early this year. Then he was DFA'd, and he's really earned his way back and is becoming a fixture in that lineup. And I thought Counsell kind of said it best. He said you shouldn't be too old to improve and get better at your job. Herrera's 30, but Counsell says many people in this game think you reach your peak when you're 24 or 25 and just sustain that, and you're judged by where you're going to be at a younger age. He said it's not the case with Herrera.
Well, it's not the case with big leaguers these days either. I mean, 24 is kind of middle of your career these days when you have 20-year-olds in the big leagues, 20 or 21-year-olds, and guys that are that young doing well. Herrera made the right decision sticking around in the Brewers organization. He's back and has been impressive.
One-two to Votto. 2-2. Tremendous eye at the plate. Patience. There's Joey Votto.
Chokes up a lot. I don't know of any player that chokes up more than Votto with 2 strikes. He's a good 2 inches off the knob of the bat. You very rarely see that anymore.
Very rarely. Not sure anybody could name more than a handful of other players, if anyone else, who does that.
Barry Bonds used to choke up.
Yeah.
Didn't affect his power. Didn't choke up that much, though.
Votto crowds that plate as well and draws the walk.
And nobody in the National League does that better than Joey Votto, drawing walks. Just doesn't swing out of the strike zone very often.
.422 on base percentage for Joey Votto in his career. That's quite a number right there.
Right.
Here's Brandon Phillips, the second baseman.
Yep, only Bryce Harper has a better on base percentage than Votto in the NL this year.
So the first base runner of the game against Jimmy Nelson here in the opening inning. Joey Votto draws the walk, and now Phillips. Solid year for Phillips, not all-star caliber offensive numbers. He was on base 5 times in game 1 yesterday and then went 0 for 4 in game 2. A walk and 4 singles in game 1 yesterday.
He's played in a lot of games. This is game number 123 for Phillips. Kind of wears you down after a while, right? I mean, getting up there in age, playing just about every day.
We played every inning of the doubleheader yesterday. You can't give all the veterans the second game off, though, can you? A few of them got rests from both these clubs yesterday in game 2. Brewers won the first game 8-6. It was a 6-6 game, and Herrera hit that home run to break the tie in the top of the 8th. And then Milwaukee won the nightcap 7-3, including an hour-and-a-half rain delay. I think it's the first time that I can remember that we ate 2 full meals at the ballpark.
They were good too, weren't they?
Yeah, they were good. They treat us well here in Cincinnati.
Yeah. It's one of the few times we've been to Cincinnati. We haven't had the Skyline chili in the press room.
Now, do you have that when it's available, or do you just know it's there and then you ignore it? Because when I see it, I ignore it.
Do you?
Yeah.
You gotta have a little bit. I mean,
no, just
you don't want to be rude.
I had it once, and
I mean, that's a big thing around here. You can't
know.
say you don't like that stuff.
No, but I can because I'm the visitor. I mean, if I lived here, it'd be different. Phillips, center field. That's going to fall. Votto turns and goes to third. And with 2 down, the Reds starting to get something going here with Votto and Phillips reaching.
It's just a little fist job, little jam shot into center field. 93 on the fastball. Phillips gets enough of it to dump it into center. Votto running on the pitch, able to get into third base.
Here's Jay Bruce.
So, you know, in some cultures that's considered to be an insult. You know, when you don't eat the food that they offer.
Yeah, but I don't think this culture is has a problem with that. I think my opinion is shared by many when they come into town here. You're just a nice man.
I just like any kind of food.
I will say I don't know any food you don't like.
Right.
Yeah. Nelson retired the first 2 batters with relative ease, but a little tougher time with Votto, Phillips, and now Jay Bruce.
Man, you look at this lineup and you scratch your head wondering why these guys have such a difficult time scoring runs. Top of this order is about as good as it gets, especially when they have Billy Hamilton in the lineup. He's actually on a rehab assignment. He might be back when the Reds come to Miller Park.
Yeah, I think he will be. It sounded like he's going to return early this coming week. if not by midweek. Ground ball. Scooter Gennett has it. Throw to first. And safe is the call. Votto comes home. And now Phillips takes third with some confusion over there at the bag.
Yeah, both of them over there. You know, Adam Lind and Nelson. And a little confusion as to who was going to cover the bag. Adam Lind ends up getting the baseball. He looks out to me. I think that Craig Counsell's going to take a look at that. He looks out.
The question is his heel on the bag?
It looked like it was. Ball was in his glove. It looked like the foot was on the bag before Bruce got there. Let's check it out. He's got the baseball. And I guess maybe, on that angle it looks like he's on the bag, but is he? Right there. The umpiring crew giving the Brewers a long leash here.
And the Brewers are going to go ahead and challenge this call. Toby Bassner, the first base umpire, calling safe.
Well, it's awfully difficult on that one angle, the angle that kind of was shot from left field, whether Lind's foot was on the bag. So the ball was in his glove before Bruce's foot got to the bag. I might have to sync up a couple of different shots to make this call.
Well, as we have learned through this replay process, as we take one more look here, is the foot on the bag.
Well, his foot's on the bag right there. It looks like his foot's on the bag. He's got the baseball, and Jay Bruce looks out to me.
Confusing part too is Nelson's right in front of the bag as well.
Right. Well, here it is. I mean, clearly the ball beats Jay Bruce to the bag. Now the question the umpires have to answer is does Lind have his foot on the base? He's clearly got it plenty of time. Is he bobbling the baseball maybe? I don't know. You see it. It's in his glove. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Any indication of any interference at all? Didn't seem to be.
No. The only interference would be Jimmy Nelson interfering with Lind. I mean, no interference on Bruce. This might take a while.
Well, I was going to mention one of the things that we've learned through this process is many camera angles as we can provide here. The Reds broadcast also providing to New York, where they are looking at both broadcasts from different angles. And we have discovered through some of the decisions made, we don't always, unfortunately, get to provide. So we'll see what the final decision is going to be here.
The only question is whether Lind had his foot on the bag, and we'll see what they come up with in New York. Call on the field is safe.
And so Brad Weimer, our producer, has indicated to me all the camera angles we've seen is what is being seen in New York. So this is the entire package here. This is obviously a big call because if it's overruled, inning over, no run. Scooter Gennett making a nice play, stopping that ball from going into right. And here's the call. Safe. Call stands.
That's no surprise, really.
Yep.
I mean, because it was difficult to determine whether Lind had his foot on the bag, and I would imagine it's going to be a call stands and not confirmed. Yep, call stands. Adam Lind is telling the first base umpire, I had my foot on the bag. What are you guys talking about? So now the Brewers have no challenges left. That's it. They lost their challenge here in the first inning.
That replay review taking 3 minutes and 1 second. Here's Ivan DeJesus Jr. As Rock mentioned, he is a very versatile defender. Runners at first and third for him. Shows bunt. He's played first, second, short, third, and left field.
He had pretty quick hands on the inner half of the play. You got to be careful with him in there. We saw him hit some bullets down the left field line in this season series.
Fly ball right field. Braun getting underneath it for the final out. So it's turned out to be a long inning, but only one run for the Reds. They take the lead.
As we head to the second is the Brewers and the Reds in Milwaukee Friday, September 18th through Sunday the 20th for a 3-game set. Plus, as part of Fan Appreciation Weekend, fans will enjoy prizes and giveaways all throughout the series. For details, go to brewers.com/fan appreciation.
All right, Lorenzen back on the hill for the Reds. And Adam Lind comes up. Cincinnati with that 1-run advantage and a little controversy in the opening frame. But the Brewers going to work here. Their offense has been cranked up here since mid-August. Adam Lind, boy, what a good, healthy, and nearly surprising season he's had with the Brewers. When they acquired him from Toronto, the back was a big question mark, but you can't speak enough on the topic of what this guy means to a team when he's healthy. And today, game 125.
Yeah, and again, I think the Brewers training staff has done a great job keeping him on the field. His back not 100%. He goes through a long process before the game to get the back ready and loose. He's only had to miss a couple of games because of the back, and I think being off the AstroTurf in Toronto has helped him quite a bit.
And Lynn walked down 4 pitches to open up the second inning for Milwaukee. So in each inning, the Brewer leadoff hitter has reached base. Here's Chris Davis back out in left field for the finale. Davis appeared as a pinch hitter in last night's game in the 9th inning and had a single and scored a run. Walked and had a stolen base in game 1 yesterday.
Cabrera having a chat with his starting pitcher. That Lorenzen's had an issue with walks. 54 walks coming in 95 in the 3rd innings. Go along with 70 strikeouts. Hadn't thrown a strike yet this inning. There's one.
Davis thought, why not? You got to bring it down, right?
You see, the fastball is pretty straight, and when he was in the minor leagues and early in his career, he had big sink on his fastball. Reds changed his arm angle a little bit, and it flattened everything out.
Here's the 1-1. Davis to right. Bruce near the line and just foul. Couldn't catch up to it. Davis retreats for another try. Lorenzen made his major league debut against the Brewers back on April 29th. Third start against Milwaukee, 0-2 and an even 6-run ERA against the Brew Crew this year. Spent some time back at AAA recently, making his second appearance now since then. Davis another swing and a miss, and this time he strikes out. Here's Shane Peterson, the Brewers center fielder. Started game 2 yesterday in left field. It's been a while since he's been out in center field, with Domingo Santana getting the bulk of the playing time out there since he was called up from AAA. But look what he did at the plate yesterday. This is why he's starting today. You got to believe first major league home run, swinging that bat. And he was given the silent treatment in the dugout for a moment. Team having some fun with him.
Yep, solo shot to lead off the 6th inning last night. That was part of a 2-for-3 for Peterson. Had a single and a walk. Always good to get the goose egg off of that home run column.
Now Lorenzen's got the Brewers swinging after throwing 5 straight balls. Lind over at first with 1 down. You're in the top of the 2nd for Milwaukee. Here's the 1-2. Fly ball center field. Actually, the left fielder De Jesus will take it for the 2nd out. Peterson retired. Gene Segura will step in. Segura an RBI in game 2 yesterday. Led off game 1 and finished the game reaching base his final 3 plate appearances, including 2 hits and an RBI. And a little bloop in foul territory, easily taken by Votto on the first pitch. Brewers retired here in the 2nd inning. Reds lead the Brewers 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Beautiful Sunday afternoon, and you'll love this. Columbia St. Mary's worth another look. Bartolo Colon behind the back. He's getting ready for the NBA season.
Man, huh? Bouncing around.
Why not?
Bartolo Colon. There's almost 2 of those in baseball. Remember Brandon Phillips did that yesterday.
Yep. That was a very close play. Phillips. Colon, though, put a little more air on that one.
Yeah.
Been good for an alley-oop, I think, too. There's Brandon Phillips.
And Phillips did that. Santana beat it out at first base. So if he was out, Santana, he would have seen 2 of those yesterday.
That would have been something.
Yeah, because Santana was safe, they don't show it.
You don't think that's in the truck somewhere?
Still a great play. But you would expect that more out of Brandon Phillips than Bartolo Colon.
Suarez into the gap, and Braun cuts it off for the first out. Yes, you're absolutely right about that. Here's Ramon Cabrera. And the Reds catcher making his major league debut yesterday in pinch hitting fashion, and today gets the start behind the plate. 3 catchers now, and 3 catchers with some special interests.
Yeah, well, 3 catchers, all switch hitters. That doesn't happen very often. The 2010 Red Sox had it. 97 Tigers. You remember Boston? Victor Martinez,
yep.
Saltalamacchia, and Veritek. All switch hitters. You know, really good fans that are really into it might get those 3, but I doubt you're going to get the Tigers team in 97. Raul Casanova, Marcus Jensen, and Matt Wahlbeck.
Can't help you on the Tigers 97 threesome.
That's good, though. I mean,
that is good.
You know, Cabrera, switch hitter, Brian Paney, and Tucker Barnhart for the Cincinnati Reds this year.
So we got 97 for the Tigers, and the Red Sox year was what year?
2010.
2010.
Maybe you should tweet that out. You'd be a big hit.
I think that your Twitter account's probably getting that taken care of as we speak. It's funny when you mention things, they appear on Twitter. You don't even have to type them out.
Mm-mm.
You are wired.
It's automatic.
It's like you're a walking Bluetooth.
Right. Got people.
Yep.
I actually don't know how people actually tweet out during the game when they're working the game. I understand.
I don't do it.
I understand writers. I mean, there's time in between, but up here in the booth, radio, TV, some do it.
They're multi-talented. Maybe we're not.
Right.
Cabrera strikes out for out number 2.
It's not as much of an indictment on them as us.
So we don't want to give them as much credit as we recognize that we can't do it.
Right.
Yeah. Here's the pitcher, Michael Lorenzen. Watch out for this guy. That is not a typo. 267 is his batting average. This guy's a big-time athlete. Shortstop at Cal State Fullerton. Very good hitter. He's got 8 hits in 30 plate appearances and 4 RBIs in a limited role.
Yeah. Can swing the bat. Taylor Youngman.
He's got speed like Taylor Youngman. In fact, Lorenzen, they say, is the second fastest on the team behind Billy Hamilton. Two balls and no strikes to the Reds pitcher. Here comes Nelson. Inside again, 3-0. Remember, Nelson, no walks in his last outing, and already walked a batter here in the opening frame, Joey Votto, and he winds up scoring the game's only run in the early action. There's a strike from Nelson, 3-1. Put in play Jeanette at second base. And the Reds go 1, 2, 3, bottom half of their order. We're through 2. It's 1-0 Cincinnati. Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Top of 3 we go. The Brewers coming to bat trailing 1-0. Vote for your MVP and help us decide which Fox Sports supports partner will be crowned the winner. The charity with the most votes at the end of the Brewers season will score big with a donation from Hupy and Abraham. Choose from American Heart Association of Wisconsin, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, or Fisher House, Wisconsin. To vote, visit foxsportswisconsin.com/supports. So the Brewers looking to get a little offense cranked up here as Elian Herrera will lead off. Brewers on a 6-game winning streak right now. During that time, that offense batting .340 during that clip. And this guy has a lot to do with it. 2-home-run day yesterday, 1 in each game. Coming late, but very important scores.
Yeah, the one in game 1 gave the Brewers a 2-run lead. And then, the 3-run home run in game 2 late in the game kind of separated the Brewers from the Reds, and that set K-Rod down. He was looking for a save, but the 3-run home run, that was enough to allow K-Rod not to have to come in. But 4 hits, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs for Elian Herrera in yesterday's doubleheader.
Boy, he's piling up numbers against the Reds. Remember, he had his first career grand slam against Cincinnati back in April. It was a 5 RBI game for him. And against the Reds, 3 home runs and 10 RBIs as he rounds out to Phillips. So he's looking forward to some more at-bats here today and before the season ends, when the Reds come to Milwaukee as well later in September.
They come back next homestand to the Reds, back to Milwaukee.
Here's Jimmy Nelson. Takes a good hack at that first pitch. Nelson at 115 on the season. Has 6 hits. A couple of RBIs for Jimmy Nelson. Puts it in place. Suarez, nice plays. He spins and guns down Nelson. 2 down.
Hey, it's a midweek matchup with the St. Louis Cardinals at Miller Park for a 3-game set with the Tuesday, September 15th through Thursday, September 17th. Reserve your spot. Call 414-902-4000 or go to brewers.com today. Cardinals and crew.
St. Louis continues to roll, don't they? Got that win back yesterday against Pittsburgh. The Cubs for the wild card chase, just 3 behind Pittsburgh now. They're tightening that up a little bit. The battle for who's going to host that wild card game. It's just one game.
That's pretty much all that is up in the National League in the postseason chase, I guess. Who's going to host that wild card matchup? Wrigley Field or PNC Park?
Still a lot of time to determine that as Scooter Gennett grounds out to Votto in a quick inning for Lorenzen. Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Heading to the bottom of the third, the Reds lead the Brewers here in the finale of this 3-game series. Weekdays, don't miss America's pregame as Mike and Molly bring you live reports from around the country for the latest from the NFL and Major League Baseball. Catch America's pregame every weekday at 4 Central on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live as always on Fox Sports Go. So Jimmy Nelson back out on the hill. He gave up his first walk in 2 starts in the opening frame, and that came after retiring the first 2 batters and then ran into trouble with Votto, Phillips, and Bruce, and that's been the offense so far in this game, 1-0. And the top of the order and Bourgeois will lead off here in the third. Brewers have had only 1 hit against Lorenzen in their first 3 innings. A hit and a walk has been it. Brewers trying to sweep the Reds in their home ballpark for the 2nd consecutive series this season. Brewers have done well against Cincinnati this year, leading the season series 9-6, winning 6 of 8 here in this ballpark.
They just able to keep the Reds off the board in this series so far. Yesterday's doubleheader, and you can pretty much lay it all in the bullpen from Milwaukee over 11 innings in 2 games yesterday. Every reliever appeared in a game, 1 or 2 yesterday. Jimenez pitched twice. Brewers added a pitcher today, Tyler Cravey, coming off the disabled list. He's available out there in the Brewers pen. A crowded pen right now.
That's September, though, isn't it?
Yep.
Colorado spring season is coming to an end. The Brewers AAA affiliate. We could see another player or two being added to the Brewers road trip. We'll have to see as they progress to Miami for 4 games starting tomorrow and then conclude in Pittsburgh. And don't be surprised when Biloxi's season is done to see a player or two added as well. Of course, the Brewers hoping their AA affiliate, which has been tremendous, just a tremendous season, will go and win the AA championship. If that happens, they won't be done playing until the middle of September.
Right.
And Bourgeois strikes out.
And the Brewers have said they're not going to call guys up unless they feel as though they're going to be able to use them. You might see another catcher come up. Brewers 40-man roster not completely full. There's only 39 right now, so the Brewers elect to put one of those guys from Biloxi on the 40-man to bring him up in September. They have room. They have 1 space available.
I'll tell you, they worked everybody into the mix in yesterday's game. Frazier right down the left field line, base hit. Will turn the corner, big turn, but will hold up and settle for a single.
Yeah, Chris Davis playing real deep and shaded toward the line, and that's why Frazier had to stay put at first base. Turning on this heater, didn't waste any time. Looking for something in. Look at the pops those hips open, pulls the hands in, and gets the barrel of the bat on it, rips it down that line. He handles the inside pitch pretty well, particularly early in the count.
Did you hear those firecrackers go off, Ron?
I did.
Every top of the hour, they're getting ready for Riverfest here in Cincinnati. So we'll hear those at the top of every hour.
They sounded a little bit bigger than little black cats that you buy at the store. Those are mega fireworks.
Well, I'll tell you right now, they pale in comparison to the sounds that we heard yesterday as the lightning storm was coming in.
Yeah.
Lightning struck the light pole out in left field yesterday, and the slowest of people on the field ran as fast as they could to get off.
Scary.
It was a fast track. You don't want to be around there. Here's a look and here's a listen.
Yeah. Bang. That's what you heard at the ballpark yesterday.
And that was no audio enhancement. That was the real deal. Shot us back in the booth.
And that's when the tarp was put on the field. Very quickly.
I felt bad for the grounds crew.
Yeah, I know. They're rolling around a big steel tube in that lightning storm.
Oh,
hazard pay for those guys. They did a heck of a job.
We were not laughing yesterday. We're laughing with them today because you get through it. You do what you can. It's part of the job.
Big rain on Friday, a lot of wind, and had to deal with the lightning yesterday. The ground crew here in Cincinnati did a great job.
Yeah, they sure did. They were just hanging on to that tarp on Friday when that storm came out of nowhere. So Votto in a 1-1 count. He walked his first time up. You see he leads the league again. He stays on top of before the last 5 years he's led the National League in walks.
And he's got the home runs this year to back up all the walks. The Reds have always wanted to be a little bit more aggressive at the plate. 27 homers, 70 ribbies. Good year for him, hitting .317.
Runner goes. And Lucroy's throw is in time for the out.
Not even close. Well, that's a great throw by Lucroy. Really quick in the transition. Got rid of it quickly and right on the money. Check it out. Doesn't get any better than that. Not a big lead by Frazier. Look how quickly he gets rid of it. Right on the money. And Segura tags him. He just doesn't even get to second base. Give him a chance. He'll throw some guys out.
They'd rather face Votto with the bases empty, that's for sure. And now they are.
Most of the stolen bases on Lucroy in the second half, at least, have been on big jumps, stealing them on the pitching staff. Give him a chance, and he makes a perfect throw to second base.
Yeah, Craig Counsell has made no bones about it. That part of the game needs to get cleaned up a bit, and hopefully we saw good signs right there. And Votto runs the count full.
That's really the result, getting good jumps, in this pitching staff, starters for the Brewers, young guys, when they're in a bit of a jam and thinking a lot about, making their pitches, worrying about the hitter, they forget about the base runners, and that's when the big jumps happen and the stolen bases.
And again, Votto draws a walk.
Pretty close.
Lucroy out to talk to the Brewers starter Nelson. This is where the trouble started back in the first. 2 down, a 2-out walk to Joey Votto.
2 outs, nobody on, and sometimes that third out's the toughest one to come by.
Phillips singled back in the first inning. His single position Votto over at third, and then Jay Bruce's infield hit brought Votto home, and that's the game's only run so far. Nelson doing such a fine job turning his season around. Rock, you mentioned it. After that 3-8 start, he has gone 8-2. Not easy being that many games below 500 to now he's an above 500 pitcher overall in the season.
And it just really turned the corner. Very consistent.
Last year, Nelson 2-9 with a 4.93 as this ball is hit well left field and gone. So the walk will cost Nelson again. Phillips homers behind him, and Cincinnati grabs a 3-0 lead.
And Brandon Phillips, you throw a fastball at your own risk. You can't get in on him, but when he has the count in his favor, look out. And here it is. Lucroy wanted it away. Look where it ends up, right down the middle of the plate. And Phillips centers on it. He knew it right away. As soon as he hit it, extends the lead to 3-0.
That'll bring up Jay Bruce now. Home run number 11 for Phillips on the season. Well, the Brewers trailed in yesterday's first game 5-1 before they rallied at the midway point, about the 6th inning. They'll have to play from behind here and try to get her back.
Yeah, especially when you're facing a guy with an earned run average near 6. Michael Lorenzen. So Jimmy Nelson holds the Reds down. You figure this offense is going to get going.
And Bruce, another base hit.
dynamite top of the order for the Reds. It's just amazing that these guys haven't been better this year scoring runs. Could be a lot worse in this inning. Todd Frazier got a base hit, got thrown out trying to steal. A lot of 2-out damage against Jimmy Nelson early on here today.
Yep. Both times the Reds have put their offense together to score, it's been with 2 outs and nobody on. Here's DeJesus. He flew out to right to end the first inning. DeJesus hit his first home run on June 8th. It came off Cole Hamels. First major league home run off pretty good pitcher.
Yeah.
This one up the middle, cut off by Segura, flips to Jeanette, and they can't connect, so the ball goes loose. Everybody's safe, and the inning continues.
That might be a base hit. I'm not sure if Segura had to do it that way. And we'll see. A little bouncer up the middle. Segura's able to get there. Let's see. Does he have time to set himself and make a throw? I think he did. Jay Bruce not even in the shot yet. A little nonchalant by Segura, and that'll extend the inning. That'll be an error. Fielder's choice E6. And he had time to stop, set himself, and make an easy flip over to second base. Elected not to do it that way.
Unfortunately for Segura, his momentum took that ball with it. Did not make the Bartolo Colon type play.
No.
All right, so the inning continues. The bases were empty with 2 outs, and now 2 runs are in and 2 more are aboard. And here is Suarez, who's having himself quite an offensive season here since he has taken over shortstop for this Cincinnati team. To third, fair ball, Herrera. Long throw and safe. The call at first. So bases are loaded. A close play over there. Brewers are out of challenges, though, so they have to go with the call in the field.
He looks safe, and Herrera, I think initially thought he was going to be able to run to the bag and get Bruce as he was heading that way. And he's clearly safe. That's not even close. That'll be a base hit. And even more extra pitches for Jimmy Nelson. Not sure what Herrera could have done differently.
He made a nice play, but it was well behind the bag. Saved a run. To Lynn. And Cabrera is going to be retired, and the Reds will settle for their 2 early runs in this inning, but lead 3-0. So playing from behind as we go to the top of the 4th inning. They trail 3-0. And it's time for our Car Soup trivia question. Prior to last night, who is the last Brewers pitcher to win his major league debut in Cincinnati?
That's a good one.
That is very specific.
Very good one.
Ariel Pena did it last night as he came in relief of Willie Peralta after the Brewers already had the lead. Then an hour-and-a-half rain delay, and it was far too long for Peralta to try to come back out and get things going again. So the numbers for Pena in his major league debut: 3 pretty strong innings, gave up a couple of runs, but did not surrender the lead.
It looked good. He got the win, and again, the Brewers put him back in the starting rotation at the end of the year this year. They moved him to the bullpen because they really didn't have a second pitch. He's still working on one to be a more consistent starting pitcher. Nice thing about September, the Brewers right now have 10 relievers in their bullpen. I doubt that Pena is available today.
Well, Craig Counsell said before the game that they're formulating a plan for midweek as Matt Garza now removed from the rotation. And yesterday, with Peralta only going 2 innings, we could very well see him at midweek pitching against the Marlins, and they may factor Pena into that mix as well. Maybe not as a starter, but a scheduled reliever, perhaps.
Tyler Cravy's back. He might give him a start.
So there's some things they're weighing, and Craig Counsell said that Pena will figure into the mix. They're just not 100% sure if that'll be in a long relief role or a starting role at this point. Maybe a short start. You never know. Luke Roy grounds to Phillips for the first out here in the 4th.
Well, Pena picks up a win in his major league debut. Taylor Youngman did that in Pittsburgh. But he's not the answer. It's got to be against the Reds.
It was in Cincinnati. Here's the question. One down for Ryan Braun. The Brewers have managed 2 base runners against Lorenzen so far here today. As we take it our Powerball home run leaderboard, Ryan Braun with 24, Adam Lind is 18, Chris Davis 17. Top 3 home run hitters for Milwaukee. Just a base hit and a walk so far for the Brew Crew, and Scooter Gennett was thrown out as he was caught in between first and second in that first inning. Foul tip. 2-2. Run 281 on the season. Those 24 home runs have contributed 79 RBIs. Played in the All-Star game here in Cincinnati. Tripled late in the game for the National League. Got kind of a surprise call on that Sunday when we were in Los Angeles playing the Dodgers. Sunday morning, the league called and said, "You're an all-star. Pack your bags and make some plans."
That was a nice pitch, change up. Haven't seen too many of those today from Lorenzen. He's got some confidence working right now. He's giving up only 1 hit. Check this out. That's a good pitch. Well, he starts throwing that for strikes. Look out. Fastball in the mid-90s. He's throwing some change-ups. I should say some sliders, and that good change-up to Braun to get him.
Here's Lind with 2 outs. Lind came into this game batting .380 with 4 home runs and 16 RBIs against the Reds this season alone. Had that booming pinch hit double that produced 2 runs to tie the game yesterday in game 1.
Yeah, Brewers down by 5 runs in that game.
Yeah.
Able to come back, so the Reds aren't feeling too comfortable at this point.
Although their pitching right now with Lorenzen on the mound has looked as strong as it has all weekend.
Actually down by 4 runs, not 5.
5-1 deficit. That's right. Lind battles against Lorenzen. Lorenzen from Fullerton, California, went to Cal State Fullerton to college. And Lind, base hit to left, nicely done. Smooth stroke the other way.
Yeah, 2 outs, nobody on, and yeah, it's been the recipe for success for Cincinnati today. And see if the Brewers can get something going. 2 outs, and Adam Lind with a base hit. He stays on the ball so well, doesn't he? I mean, just keeps that front shoulder closed and got it off the end of the bat. But instead of rolling it over to second base, he's able to stay on it long enough to dump it into left.
Thank you. Davis swings at the first pitch and pops it up in the infield. And Phillips takes it right over Votto's spot. Big Red Machine. Reds lead the Brewers 3-0. Bottom of the 4th we go. And it's time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag #WisDataStrongFan and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Brilliant sunshine here in Cincinnati on this Labor Day weekend. And Jimmy Nelson back out on the hill in the bottom of the 4th inning. All 3 of the runs that he has given up have come with 2 out and no men on for the rallies that Cincinnati's put together in the 1st and 3rd innings so far. He's pitched ahead to all but 2 batters here. His first pitch strikes 15 out of the first 17. Make it 16 for 18. Backhand, Jeanette. Nice play to retire Lorenzen.
Hey, that brings us to today's Tavern the Game winner. It's Yanger's Pub in Watertown. They call the Brewers in the next 24 hours. They get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to an April or May 2016 Brewers home game. It's offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Which boat best resembles yours there? That big one way in the back?
I don't see it.
No?
I don't think it would fit in the Ohio River.
Oh, that big?
Yeah, it's big. Real big.
Well, someday we'll get the invite to go out there in the big boat. Have a midsummer party.
It's in the mail.
Jason Bourgeois now with 1 out. Big event they got planned here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to be on the way to Miami.
Kind of looks like Miami out on the Ohio River right now.
Yeah.
See a lot more of that where the Brewers are going all week long. (0-2) pitch to Bourgeois. This is high and wide. Out of the reach of Lucroy.
That's more like it right there in the foreground. That's what I got.
It's like a little PT boat compared to those other ones. That boat right there would rule the river, though, I think. If you were driving it, if you were the captain.
I guarantee we'd have more fun than anybody else in that river.
I probably would agree with you on that one.
Maybe not. Maybe not. I shouldn't say that.
They're having a good time out there. I mean, you're not out there unless you're having a good time.
Maybe
right?
back a few years ago, that might be the case.
I didn't take it as that as much as just the recreational fun, the enjoyment of being in the great outdoors.
Got to stay out of the sun, though.
Yeah, you
be sun smart.
Locked and loaded for a big fireworks show tonight here, Riverfest. So one good thing about being able to travel around, Rock, if you do it, especially as much as you have in all of these major league cities, and the schedule changes throughout the course of each summer from the next, you get to see part of the culture, part of the community, part of what really goes on and means a lot here too.
They've got a nice Oktoberfest beer festival downtown by Fountain Square. I think that's in a couple of weeks, I think. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've been down here for that one. Augie and I roamed the streets once, I think, when you were doing a game.
Yeah.
We had the day off. It was a Saturday. Augie still talks about that.
Well, how did you have a day off if we were doing a game?
I think it was part of the national package, and you guys did the game, but we didn't have the pre and post game duties.
Oh.
So. We thought it was our duty to explore. Foul territory. Lucroy battles at Sun and makes the catch. 2 down. Augie doesn't get out much, so he still talks about it.
He'll go anywhere that you go.
Here's Todd Frazier. Augie just needs somebody to order his food for him. He doesn't wear his glasses, so he can't read anything out in public. So. The best part about Augie is when you're out to eat and he gets handed the menu and he's looking the whole thing over, and then it's time to order, and Augie doesn't order until everyone else doesn't. He'll pick someone. I'll have that too.
Yeah.
And then he gives the menu up and says, I couldn't read it anyway. I don't have my glasses.
He can hear everything you're saying.
He's working today. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he will get the last word,
Yeah, I know it.
Post game show.
He's doing the post game show. You're right.
Just remember, Augie, it's not me saying all that.
We always have a good time with Augie.
I know it. Super guy. Never had a bad day.
No. Nelson's had only one clean inning, trying for a second one here, and hit right to Herrera. And there's the final out. 1, 2, 3 here in the fourth. We go to the fifth. Brewers need to get the offense going.
Crew and community, the Brewers Community Foundation harnesses the pride, passion, and commitment of our fans, players, and other supporters to positively impact the community. The foundation provides resources to quality nonprofits in the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs. Thanks for your support. When we all play on the same team, everyone wins. Correct?
Okay, top of the fifth we go. Michael Lorenzen has cruised through the Brewer offense. He's allowed just a couple of hits and a walk so far. No one passed first. And it's going to be Shane Peterson in center field to lead off. He flew out to left his first time up. Peterson's got that fastball working in the low 90s right now, mid to low 90s. 50th pitch of the game here in the fifth inning. Very efficient work so far.
Yeah, they said that his 3 starts down in the minor leagues before his call up and subsequent start today were very good. He was able to work out some things. Seems like he's getting a little bit more movement on his fastball going down. He's getting some ground ball outs.
He's the youngest of 4 brothers who grew up out in California together. His oldest brother is 10 years older. Jonathan, he was drafted in the 14th round by the Dodgers. Ended up having a Tommy John surgery and didn't make it to the bigs. Part of his competitive drive, though, having those 3 older brothers.
Yeah.
Good athlete. Wow, look out, Gene Segura. Standing between the on-deck circle and home plate near that screen. Almost got nailed by that foul ball. Guys today sure wander away from that on-deck circle, don't they, to warm up?
Don't ever stand on it. You want to stay on the dirt. On deck circle is almost right behind home plate here in Cincinnati.
Peterson to short. Suarez for the out. 1 down. That'll bring up Segura. Lorenzen, a first-round pick in the supplemental draft by Cincinnati back in 2013.
He's had good numbers down in the minor leagues, and we mentioned the Reds. You know, once they got their hands on him in spring training and decided to change his arm angle a little bit, thinking that there's too much pressure on the shoulder and the elbow, he used to take the ball out of his glove and go straight back. And that's how he got good sink on his fastball. Well, the Reds decided that, you know, that might be a little bit too much. He might be suspect of some injury, so they had him drop his hand out of his glove, and that has straightened his fastball out considerably. That's the way he takes the ball out of his glove, goes straight down. And because of that, you just saw that fastball pretty straight.
Looks like it's going to be a difference maker for him. Takes a little bit to make those adjustments, though. Saws off Segura, slow roller, and Segura's going to be safe. Tough play out there by Suarez. It's short to make the play. So an infield hit for Gene Segura. And as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag #WishDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured on an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. And Rachel's got a good group. Taking a picture of the tailgate.
Early in the season.
Yes.
Got the jackets on.
Yes, indeed. Bundled up. Could be April, May, or June in Wisconsin. So a rare base runner in this game for Milwaukee as Segura reaches on the infield hit. Third hit of the game off Lorenzen. Only the fourth base runner. And Herrera to right, base hit. That'll move Segura up 90 feet. First and second with one out.
No surprise that Elian Herrera squares one up and hits a bullet into right. And Brewers no better than to try to test the throwing arm of Jay Bruce out there in right field. He's got one of the better throwing arms in right field in baseball. And a slider that just kind of spun up there, stayed in the middle part of the plate. And Herrera continues his hot hitting.
That's his fifth hit in the third game of the last 24 hours. Just packing it in, aren't we, in Cincinnati? Nelson going to try to sacrifice the runners over. Takes the ball inside. Nelson has 2 sacrifice bunts this year. Tried again. Rain out in front of Lorenzen. Has to go to first. Nicely done for Jimmy Nelson.
Yeah, that's about as good as it gets right there for a sac bunt. Now it's up to Jeanette to drive him in. Get a base hit. Deaden that one nicely right in front of home plate.
Scooter Gennett with one of the 4 hits the Brewers have against Lorenzen. He led off the game with a single to left. Good numbers against Cincinnati this season for Jeanette. 393 coming into the game with 6 RBIs. Had a career high 4 hits against the Reds on the last homestand in a single game. Fly ball to Bourgeois in center field, and that ends the threat for Milwaukee. Second and third. No score though. Reds lead the Brewers 3-0. Bottom of the 5th we go. But first a look at the Blaines Farm and Fleet down on the farm. And Matt Dominguez extended his hitting streak to 16 games. Last night against New Orleans, who was 1 for 4 in that game. And on the season for Colorado Springs, 281 with 6 home runs and 30 RBIs. So a nice season for Matt Dominguez. And the Sky Sox season concludes tomorrow. No playoffs for the Brewers AAA team.
You might see a couple of guys, in Miami or maybe back in the next homestand. Who knows? Matt Dominguez, the Brewers like him.
A lot of good future names not far away from the majors in the Brewers farm system. Joey Votto is set to lead off the 5th for the Reds. It's almost good to see Joey Votto with anything but 2 outs. He has started both 2-out rallies with walks in this game that have produced the 3 runs. Back in the 1st and again in the 3rd. Nelson did not allow any walks in that last start he had. But today, 2, and they both scored.
And they both started big innings.
Nelson on Tuesday against the Pirates. A really nice line. 7 innings, just a 1 earned run, and no walks with 6 strikeouts. Votto down 2 strikes.
Choking up on that bat once again with 2 strikes. Man. That's what he used to say, right? Choke up with 2 strikes. Put the bat on the baseball. You never see it anymore.
Tell you what, you try to get the kids to do that and look at you cross-eyed.
Right. I mean, everybody's down on the knob of the bat.
Yeah.
Trying to hit homers.
This time Votto strikes out.
Blowing them away. Good fastball that time from Jimmy Nelson. 95 miles an hour. Choking up and all.
Third strikeout of the game for Nelson.
Yeah, reached back, getting a little extra, and Jimmy with some pretty good movement on it. Catches that outside corner, and Votto swings right through it.
Here's Phillips, takes a first pitch strike. With that fastball heating up from Nelson. 2 for 2, that big 2-run home run his last at bat. A liner to left. And a big one because they were 2 down. It was home run 11. Number 11 on the season for Phillips. If the Brewers can come back in this game and get another win against Cincinnati, it'd be their first winning season series against the Reds since 2006. Been a tough team to knock out in the season series.
Yeah, they have. I mean, they've dominated the Brewers over the last few years. Been a good team, though.
Yeah. Brewers a 9-6 advantage right now. 3 more to play in Milwaukee, and Phillips just places a single into left.
Yeah, whether he hits the ball hard or not, it's falling. And just like game 1, 4 hits. In yesterday's game, 3 for 3 so far today. Hey, the Brewers and the Reds on Friday, September 18th at 7 o'clock, and all fans will get a scratch-off card containing prizes such as free 2016 tickets, game used jerseys, a team store shopping spree, and more. For details, visit Brewers.com/fan appreciation. Speaking of the Reds,
that'll be then.
Seen a lot of them, huh? Last homestand here, yeah, and back on the next homestand.
Packing it in. Month of September, right?
2 more homestands left.
Here's Jay Bruce. He, like Phillips, has been tough to retire. He's got 2 singles so far. And an RBI back in the first inning, played to the game's first run. Got some big time power with 19 round trippers. That batting average, though, just 232.
Yeah, the Reds with 7 hits today, and Phillips and Bruce had 5 of them.
Nelson takes a look at Phillips, trying to keep him close over at first.
Phillips always does that. Wipes his hands off on Adam Lynn's pants.
Look at him laugh.
He's something else. Even gets Adam Lynn to smile.
Gotta enjoy what you're doing, don't you?
Oh, he does. And what's wrong with that, right? Playing a kid's game, having a good time, making a ton of money. Life's good. And he's going to throw over on a 90-degree day, and I got to dive back. I'm wiping my hands on your pants.
He had his big bowling event last night canceled because of the doubleheader, and we found out he's quite the bowler, Rock.
Mm-hmm.
This one hit hard right field, no chance, gone. Second home run given up by Nelson in this game. 2 more runs on the board, and the Reds now extend that lead to 5-0. Home run number 20 by Bruce.
And Phillips and Bruce now responsible for 6 hits and all the RBIs today. That was a slider that just kind of spun up there. Didn't do anything until Jay Bruce hit it, knocked it out of here. You can see Jimmy Nelson knew right away that that was a big fly. They call sliders like that cement mixers. They just spin, don't move too much. And Jay Bruce took advantage of it.
Here's DeJesus.
6 for 6. Phillips and Bruce today.
Unbelievable. If you throw in Joey Votto's 2 walks because he scored 2 runs, just look at what the 3, 4, 5 hitters have done. Jay Bruce, career hit number 999. 1 more to 1,000. And he will have an opportunity or 2 before this game is up at this rate. We're only in the 5th. Nelson trying to limit the damage rate here at just 5 runs. Segura and 2 down. DeJesus retired. Suarez in next. Pitch count up in the 90s already for Nelson. So that bullpen better be getting ready down there. They're going to need to be in there again.
Once again, I mean, short starts yesterday. Matt Garza not able to get through the 5th. Another disappointing start for him. He will not be making any more starts for the Brewers this year. That was announced yesterday after the game. And Willie Peralta limited to only 2 innings because of the rain. The bullpen has had to eat up over 11 innings so far in the first 2 games of this series.
There's Willie Peralta talking with Martin Maldonado. They were battery mates yesterday for a short time.
Hey, no, Willie was disappointed. He had to come out after the Brewers staked him to a 3-0 lead in the 3rd inning.
Another base hit up the middle. So Suarez reaches. 2 down and a runner aboard for Cabrera. I think the other thing that Craig Counsell and the Brewers are going to try to figure out with Peralta this week too. It sounds like he's going to start one of those games Wednesday or Thursday in Miami, but I think they're trying their best to maximize the days that are left and give him as many starts as possible, just because he's missed a lot with the trip on the disabled list. And they want to make sure he finishes up strong. All right, we're through 5. It's 5-0. Reds lead the Brewers 5-0. Let's answer our car soup trivia. Prior to last night, who was the last Brewer pitcher to win his major league debut in Cincinnati? Ariel Pena did in yesterday's game, making his major league debut. Nick Nigebauer, August 19th of 2001.
Yeah, shoulder problems kind of cut his career short. Hard thrower, Nigebauer. He could throw it. He just had too many arm problems back in 2001. First year at Miller Park. I didn't remember that.
That one will jar your memory.
Yeah.
Good question, though. You had to dig deep for that one. Is that all Brian Michalogic on that? Did you help?
Yep. He's recovered from the Badgers' loss yet last night. Coming up big with the trivia question today.
Now you said recovered, or is he in the recovery process?
Yeah. It's therapeutic though to be digging in and getting some pretty good questions.
Yep. Well, he didn't sleep, so
it was a rough one for Bucky.
Yep. Alabama's pretty good. Number 3 ranked team. They gave it a ride, though. They've got some things to figure out with their new coach, Paul Chryst. We wish him the best this year. We'll be watching the rest of the way.
Yeah.
We had it on in the booth up here.
It was a good way to pass away the time during the rain delay.
That's right. Jonathan Lucroy to left field, and that will go over the head of DeJesus to the wall, and Lucroy will have a double. Good way to start the 6th inning for Milwaukee. They trail in this game by 5 runs.
Yeah, start to get something going last inning. Back-to-back singles by Segura and Herrera. Not able to muster a run, but Brewers starting to swing the bats a little bit better on Lorenzen here. Another breaking pitch. He's had a difficult time with that breaking ball today, and Lucroy able to center on it and whack it off the wall and left.
Here's Ryan Braun. Takes the ball low. Tyler Cravey now getting loose in the Brewer bullpen. Might see him. Just activated off the disabled list today. So now 10 in the pen for Milwaukee. Used all 9 yesterday. Braun 0 for 2 in this one. Struck out back in the 4th last time up. Having a really good season here. 281 on the year. And there's another hit right up the middle. Lucroy makes sure it goes through, and we'll go to third base now. So 1st and 3rd, nobody out for Milwaukee.
He's starting to make some mistakes with his pitches. The Brewers, as we mentioned, 4 hits now in the last 3 innings. Make that 5 hits with the Braun single. And you got to figure that Cincinnati bullpen is going to start getting busy.
Here's Adam Lind, who singled back in the 4th. Been on base twice. Walked in the 2nd inning. Had quite a battle at the plate against Lorenzen in the 4th that he won with a base hit to left. "125th game for Lind. The most he's played in since 2010. Phillips, Suarez, the return is wide, so Lind is safe at first, and Lucroy scores, so the Brewers are on the board.
Yep, RBI for Adam Lind since he's able to beat out that double play, and back-to-back base hits end up scoring Jonathan Lucroy. So the Brewers on the board. That play was really slow developing for the Reds. I mean, Brandon Phillips laid back on it. wasn't really in any hurry to get it to second base. I don't think they thought they were able to turn 2 anyway.
Here's Chris Davis. Davis's last home run came on the last road trip when the Brewers were in Cleveland on August 26th. That was his 10th home run in the month of August.
10 home runs, 24 RBIs in August.
Smashed to left base hit. So the single parade continues for Milwaukee against Lorenzen.
Yeah, Brewers really starting to center him up, and I would imagine it's not going to be long before the Reds get him out of there, get into that bullpen. Although Brian Price rather slow to pull the trigger on his pitchers in this series.
There's Jeff Pico, the pitching coach, coming out. Sam LeCure is warming up in the Reds bullpen right now. They're trying to buy a little bit of time. Although he doesn't look like he's in a hurry either.
I saw LeCure in yesterday's ball game, only a third of an inning, but he did pitch in game 1.
Pitch count in good shape for Lorenzen at 79 right now. The only inning he labored was in the 5th, but he did not give up a run.
Yeah, quick third inning.
Shane Peterson in there now, had his first major league home run last night. Be a good time for number 2 right now, wouldn't it?
Make things interesting. Ball jumps out of this ballpark in the daytime, particularly when it's nice and hot like today. Not a lot of breeze either. Flags are barely moving out there in left center field.
The Reds have hit 2 home runs in this game already. Their 26th multi-home run game of the year. They lead the majors in that category. A nice air show going on just outside the ballpark, flying over Great American Ballpark. Part of their weekend festivities. It's a beautiful thing to watch. This one will fall for another base hit. Lynn being waved home. He will score. And Peterson the RBI. Milwaukee now within 5-2.
Yeah, can't imagine that Brian Price is going to stick with Lorenzen much longer, because now the tying run comes to the plate. And here he comes as we speak. So Shane Peterson able to drive in a run with a base hit. There's that fastball, and Peterson able to center on it. You can see Bourgeois playing deep out there in center. Not able to get there, and scoring Adam Lynn. We got a good jump off of second base.
So a pitching change here in Cincinnati will set it up for you. Brewers still batting. Aboard and 1 out in the 6th inning. 2 runs in for Milwaukee, and Sam LeCure comes in relief.
He spent just about the entire season down in the minor leagues. Got called up on August 19th. You see his numbers: 8th appearance, including yesterday, a third of an inning scoreless. Got a .235 earned run average. Yeah, Brewers right back into this baby, down 5-2. And base hit here, make things interesting.
Gene Segura will face LeCure for the first time. Segura had a base hit his last trip up in the 5th. So just like yesterday's 6th inning, the Brewers making things interesting. That was in the 6th inning of Game 1, where they rallied for 5 runs to take a 6-5 lead. Segura half swing strike.
LeCure not a hard thrower. He gets it up there at about 89. He tops out, change up and slider. More of a ground ball pitcher as opposed to a strikeout pitcher. Got to make him get his pitches up in the strike zone early in the count.
Fly ball, and Phillips should take care of this as he takes a look at the runners in shallow right field for the 2nd out. Big out there for LeCure. But now he has to face the hot hitting Elian Herrera. Had a base hit last time up. Big 2 home run day yesterday. Home run in each game of the doubleheader. And they came from the same spot at the plate where he's batting now for the switch hitter.
Jason Rogers in the on deck circle. Looks like it's the end of the line for Jimmy Nelson today.
His pitch count had gotten into the 90s there as he gave up those couple of runs in the 5th inning. Well, getting that 3rd out was difficult today for Nelson, wasn't it?
Yeah. 2 rallies started with 2 outs and nobody on base.
LeCure taking a lot of time to get settled in on the mound. Herrera waits patiently. Here's the 1-1. It's pop foul.
Well, Jimmy Nelson hoping that the Brewers offense can get going and get him off the hook like the Brewers have been able to do for Matt Garza his last couple of times out.
Nelson just a little bit off in today's game.
It happens.
Unfortunately, his walks cost him early in the game. Herrera up the middle, and it is caught. A nice play at short by Suarez, robbing Herrera and ending the Brewers' 6th inning. But they'll settle for 2 and right back in it. runs. Trying to get back in this one. Our Marshfield Clinic leaders in relief. Games pitched among Brewers this season. Will Smith at the top of the group with 65. Jeffress with 61 and K-Rod 51. And boy, these guys have done a tremendous job. The strength of this team all season long, and Tyler Cravey wants to be a part of that as well. Just came off the disabled list and right back in his first game here today.
Yeah, Will Smith actually third in the National League in games pitched with 65, so he's been working quite a bit. We saw him in yesterday's doubleheader as Tyler Cravey coming off the disabled list today, or yesterday I should say. Check that, today. A right elbow injury. He was placed on the DL back on August 19th. Back today, made 5 starts, looking for his first win of the season.
And he will face Skip Schumacher, who bats in the pitcher spot, the number 9 spot today. Schumacher got the start in game 1 out in left field yesterday. A tough time with a couple of balls down in the left field corner.
He got called out looking on strike 3 a couple of times in yesterday's game, and serviceable utility player. He's been playing. He can play some infield for you, outfield. Having a rough season at the plate, hitting only .218.
And he strikes out here in the 6th inning. Good start for Cravey.
They made quick work of him. Yeah, 3 pitches and a strikeout. Cravey relies on command, doesn't throw hard. This one a little bit off the outside corner, and Schumacher chases it. Remember, we talked about he got called out on strikes a couple of times on fastballs away. This time protecting the plate, comes up empty.
Here's Bourgeois now from the leadoff spot. He goes to Hacken right away. 0 for 3 in the game. Nice pitch catching the outside corner. 0-2. Cravey throwing strikes.
Hey, love to see that. Yep, a right elbow impingement was the reason he was on a disabled list.
Called strike 3. 2 quick strikeouts for Cravey to open up the 6th.
Yeah, 6 pitches and 2 strikeouts. That's not bad. Can't do much better than that. And gets him on the slider this time. Right on the outside corner, and Bourgeois just watches it go by.
Here's Frazier. Frazier with the base hit. Also got caught trying to steal second back in the 3rd inning. Ooh, this time the first one that's not in the strike zone hits Frazier.
Ouch.
Could hear that up here.
Never had a chance to get out of the way of that.
Nope.
Big strong guy. That's not going to hurt. At least it won't hurt long. Easy for me to say.
He doesn't feel it right now.
Doesn't throw hard enough to make it hurt. Didn't rub it, did he?
Nope. Take your base, right? Here's Joey Votto. He was finally retired for the first time today when he struck out in the 5th inning. High and tight to Votto. Crowd didn't like that.
Votto right back in there, though.
Kind of chuckles a bit. He's ready to go. It's right up to the plate, though, as well in that batter's box.
Yeah, he's thinking, yeah, I got the fans, because it wasn't even that close. That's the thing when you're covering that outside corner and you're already right on top of the plate. And those pitches that really aren't all that far off the inside corner. Of course, it was, but it makes it look a lot worse when you're diving toward the outside corner. Look how close he is to home plate.
He crowds it, no doubt. This one slap foul again.
Only one pitch out of the strike zone, and it was way out of the strike zone for Tyler Cravey. Actually, two.
Has it a ball and 2 strikes to Votto. Here's a look at that wide stance.
2 strike stance. Spreads out, chokes up.
Votto got just a piece of that one.
And again, the amazing part of the Joey Votto statistics are the 100+ strikeouts. The way he approaches the at bats and chokes up, spreads out. It's amazing he strikes out that often.
Well, he's got dramatic numbers one way or the other, that is for sure. This one up the middle and another hit. Got a lot of those as well. Well, he is a tough out.
And another 2-strike hit. Cravey come with a fastball, got too much of the plate.
How difficult all day has it been for the Brewers to get that third out? And Phillips, 3 hits as he continues to roll against Brewer pitching right now, including that 2-run home run.
Yeah, Phillips and Jay Bruce 6 for 6, a couple of home runs, 5 RBIs, and here they come. 2 outs is where the Cincinnati Reds have done most of their damage.
That's
today.
right.
2 outs, nobody on. That's the way this inning started.
6 pitches, 2 strikeouts, and suddenly there's 2 aboard. Phillips checks his swing. 2-1. Gravy, another California native, drafted in the 17th round back in 2009 out of Napa Valley Community College by Milwaukee. Trying to keep his name in that term young pitching staff for the Brew Crew.
He just has not been able to find the win column. 5 starts for the Brewers, 0-5.
Slow roller Jeanette, and this should be the final out, and it is, of the 6th inning. 5-2 Reds still ahead. Cincinnati getting the scoring going early in this game with 2 outs. It's Jay Bruce, the base hit, and they grab the early lead in the 1st inning. They had a couple of more on a home run from Brandon Phillips in the 3rd. That was a 3-0 lead. Then in the 5th inning, it's Jay Bruce, a 2-run pop, and the Brewers were able to get a couple of runs back in the 6th inning. Adam Lind on the fielder's choice plates a run, and then Shane Peterson brings one home as well. It's a 5-2 ball game right now as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Brewers trail only by 3 runs in this game. And speaking of rewind, it was just a short time ago that we were bringing you the report down on the farm about 3rd baseman Matt Dominguez and putting together some nice numbers with Colorado Springs. Has had a nice season. Well, he was just claimed off waivers by the Blue Jays, so no longer a member of the Brewers, and now the Brewers 40-man roster stands at 38.
Yeah, maybe the Brewers are trying to clear space to bring up some of these young kids that aren't yet on the roster. We'll see. As Ryan Matthews takes over here for Cincinnati, 44th appearance, a 2-4 record, a big earned run average over 5. Last pitch against the Cubs on the 31st, so it's been a while for him. Gave up a hit in a 1/3 of an inning, picked up a win. Opportunistic win for Matthews, only getting 1 out.
And Jason Rogers, the Brewer pinch hitter, batting for the pitcher spot, that number 9 spot.
Good slider by Matthews. Throws in the mid-90s with a good slider. The winning scenario bullpen now for the Reds. We haven't seen that yet in this series. Got to get it done in the 7th or 8th innings if you're the Brew Crew. You got Aroldis Chapman lurking in that pen. He's pretty much automatic out there.
Rogers yesterday, a pinch hit single for Milwaukee. Also started game 1 of the doubleheader and had 3 hits his final 3 plate appearances, including a triple to close it out in the 9th inning, scoring a run. Scored a couple of runs in that game 1. Making the most of his limited playing time. But well, what a good pinch hitter he's been. This time, though, he's going to ground out to Phillips. One down here in the 7th inning. Top of the order now, and Scooter Gennett.
Hey, 2 weeks from today, the Brewers and the Reds will meet again at Miller Park, and all fans in attendance will get a guard gnome of Scooter Gennett, courtesy of Waterstone Bank. Call 414-902-4000. Go to brewers.com/tickets.
Jeanette 1 for 3. Tries to bloop one out there, and Phillips high steps it for the out. That's his way of saying I got it, right?
Yep. High energy.
Bring up Jonathan Lucroy with 2 down. Luke had a double and scored back in the 6th inning. That's the inning the Brewers plated their first 2 runs of the game. Had that 11-game hitting streak snapped yesterday in game 1 of the doubleheader. And Martin Maldonado caught game 2.
You might see a little bit more of Maldonado as the Brewers continue here in September. Not too many off days. Next off day for the Crew next Monday. Monday the 14th.
That'll be good coming off the big 10-game road trip.
Brewers had a ton of off days.
And they have 2 left.
Yeah, they had 4 off days in a span of 12 days. That's too many in that short amount of time, but they're going to make up for it in September.
I'm sure a lot of these guys wish that that was spread out a little more evenly.
Right.
But
well, you take them when you can get them.
That's right. There's 2 more before the end of the season, the 14th and 28th. Brewers just at the beginning of their first of 2 10-game road trips in the month of September. So if you're a contender with that schedule, that'd make it pretty challenging.
Yeah.
Keep up.
This could offer a stretch of a lot of home games in the month of August for Milwaukee, but it all evens out. 81 and 81.
To Luke, stays alive.
Yeah, Luke wondering how he's found these pitches off. Missed some pitches to hit against Lorenzen today, and that fastball down the middle.
Zach Davies set to go tomorrow. He'll make his 2nd big league start. That's an afternoon game on Labor Day in Miami. Lucroy strikes out, so that ends the Brewer half of the 7th inning. Time for God Bless America here in the 7th inning stretch. Let's go to Reds public address announcers now. Joe Zerhusen.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please stand, kindly remove your hats and face the American flag. Major League Baseball, the Reds, and the Brewers salute the men and women of our armed forces, as well as those who serve to protect in our local police and fire departments. At this time, please help us honor these brave men and women and all our veterans of service, and welcome the Cranky Sisters as they lead us in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Brewers 5-2. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Milwaukee now moving to Miami for a series that begins tomorrow. Zach Davies, the rookie, makes his second big league start, and he'll be on the mound tomorrow. That's a day game, so we're on at 11:30 tomorrow morning for Brewers Live. Then Taylor Youngman on Tuesday, and on Wednesday an open date right now. That was Matt Garza's day to start, but he has been removed now and shut down for the rest of the season, so it could end up being Willie Peralta. We'll have to wait and see. The Brewers going to make that decision pretty quick. David Goforth now in to pitch in the 7th inning for Milwaukee.
Interesting pitching matchup in Miami. The same 3 starters for the Marlins that the Brewers saw back at Miller Park, so a little bit of familiarity there could help them in Miami as David Goforth continues here. He pitched in yesterday's game, or yesterday's doubleheader. 12th appearance and a .630 earned run average, and more strikeouts than innings pitched for Goforth.
.38 appearances at Colorado Springs this season for Goforth and a .268 ERA.
Up and down 4 different times for the Brewers this year. He's been back and forth quite a bit. Made his Major League debut back in May.
Might have the wrong last name to stick in the majors. Goforth. Go back to the man. Go back and forth. Go back and forth.
Yeah, right. As opposed to just stay put.
That
right. Should be his last name.
You have to change that name during the offseason. Jay Bruce, who has not been retired yet today. 2 singles and a 2-run home run, 3 RBIs. '20 home runs on the season now. 7 of his 8 big league seasons he's produced 20 home runs or more. And this time though he skies out to Chris Davis.
Been in kind of a home run drought. I mean, 3 home runs since the end of July for Jay Bruce, and 2 of those have come against Milwaukee.
It's hard to believe.
He's always hit the Brewers well.
Here's DeJesus. For 3 in this one. Goforth, a Mississippi product. Philadelphia, Mississippi is his home. Pitched for the University of Mississippi. Brewers 7th round pick back in the 2011 draft. Comebacker right to him. 2 down.
Now this is where the trouble begins for the Brewers. 2 outs and nobody on.
Well, tonight be sure to catch Fox Sports Live and Fox Sports 1 for complete highlights and analysis of everything that happened in Major League Baseball today, plus the latest from the NFL and the world of sports. Fox Sports Live tonight on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. As you were saying.
Yeah, 2 outs has been a trouble spot for the Brewers. The Cincinnati Reds are 7-14 with 2 outs today. That includes 2 walks, a hit batter, 3 runs scored. That statistic courtesy of Jerry Augustine in Milwaukee.
With the green pen, I'll bet. We talked about all the colors of the pens yesterday.
He texted it to me.
Looks like it's in green, though.
Now, that was my response. Said, good stat. I'll use it.
And you did. I like that. Suarez flies out to Peterson in center, and a good 1-2-3 inning for Goforth. Nice and quick.
The 8th inning, down by 3. They got a new center fielder, Ryan Lamar. He's out there. Ryan Lemaire out in center field. He's a very good defender out in center field. Borges moves over to left. So tightening up the defense are the Cincinnati Reds as J.J. Hoover takes over for the 62nd time. The Cincinnati setup man. He's got a 7-1 record. That one loss came here in Cincinnati against Milwaukee. That was in game 1 in yesterday's game. A .214 earned run average for J.J. Hoover. Well, you figure it's going to be Hoover in the 8th and Aroldis Chapman in the 9th.
Ryan Braun's going to lead off here in the top of the 8th for Milwaukee. Still very much within striking distance. Defensive change in the outfield as Lamar comes in now and plays center and Bourgeois on left. Rock, did you cover that?
I did. Where were you?
I was out for a moment.
You know, that's why they have the 7th inning stretch, if you didn't know that.
Well, somebody left the booth during the 7th inning stretch.
That started a long time ago.
I like to keep one in here. It's kind of how I operate.
All right.
So you got to stay. Run 1 for 3. Fly ball left field, hit pretty well, and this one's going to carry out of the ballpark. Wow, Ryan Braun. Nice and easy swing, and home run number 25.
Yeah, started the day 0 for 2, but you know, base hit home run for Brawny. Well, the Brewers are within 2 runs now. Hey, you never know. This is the inning to get it done. You want to get your runs before Chapman trots out there on the mound. Yeah, Hoover with a breaking pitch that Braun was able to hook. I mean, if you can hook a pitch on the outside corner and hit a home run to left, this is the place to do it. It carries very well. And a Marshfield Clinic shining moment of the game so far. Hopefully more to come.
So Hoover greeted with a home run from Ryan Braun. Let's see what Adam Lind can do. Tell you, we're seeing Ryan Braun's batting average climb up, Rock, and he's covering that plate, I think, a lot better here in the last month, maybe 6 weeks or so, and you saw it right there with that home run swing.
He's healthy. I mean, that's bottom line. I mean, the thumb is feeling good. He's been able to stay sharp. He had the second game off yesterday. The Brewers didn't need him, so he got a little bit of a rest in game 2. Batting average up there in the 280s now.
18th home run here at Great American Ballpark for Ryan Braun, the most of any ballpark outside of Miller Park. Then able to check his swing. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Brewer first baseman. He has a walk, a hit, and was on a fielder's choice. Has an RBI and scored a run in this game. And this one hit hard right field. Bruce going back and on the warning track. It stays in for an out.
Just didn't get it. Didn't sound like he got it on the sweet spot. Maybe down on the end just enough to keep it in the ballpark. Gave it a good ride. Just missed.
The first out of the 8th inning. Chris Davis, suddenly the ball seems like it's carrying a little bit.
Yeah, well, that was down on the end, but still almost able to muscle it on out of here.
Davis 1 for 3. Can't check his swing there. Falls behind 2 strikes now to Hoover.
A couple of breaking pitches. A couple of different breaking balls for Hoover and a mid-90s fastball.
And Davis strikes out. Second time Davis has gone down via the strikeout.
Put a little bit extra on the velocity on that curveball that time, and very late sharp break going down, and Davis over the top.
Peterson singled and had an RBI back in the 6th inning.
Chapman getting loose early.
Yes, he is.
You don't usually see him until the 9th. Any kind of trouble, I would imagine you're going to see him here in the top of the 8th. Reds want this one today.
Fly ball left field. Bourgeois makes the catch in the final out, but the Brewers get one as Ryan Braun leads off the inning with his 25th home run. 5-3 game as we move to the bottom of the 8th here in Cincinnati. Right in the middle of that order. They have been on base 9 times and produced the bulk of the runs here. 4 to the 5 runs driven in by them. Actually, all 5 have. 5-3 ball game here in Milwaukee. And the Brewers put Goforth back out on the mound for a second inning of work here in relief. Trying to keep the Reds at bay. And Jeanette's throw is wide. Looked routine. Maybe he didn't have himself set. Adam Lynn really didn't have a chance at that one. So Cabrera safe at first base.
Sometimes the most routine plays give you the most trouble. You just let down just a little bit to focus. Just off the mark and not even close. So leadoff base runner. Well, those are the errors that just wear you out. They kill you. Routine play, easy throw, ends up being an E4.
Second error of the ball game for Milwaukee. So Lamar, who came in to play center field, bats for the first time. Got the call up from AAA Louisville on August 20th. Runner goes, and this ball hit foul. Lamar started last night's game in center in game 2. He was the call up when Marlon Byrd was traded away to the Giants.
Yeah, Giants having a rough time of it, aren't they? They won last night. 7.5 games back at the start of play today.
That broke a 7-game losing streak. They needed a win.
How about the Atlanta Braves? They've lost 11 straight. What are they doing today? Losing to Washington.
One-two on the way, foul away again.
It's one thing to be out of contention. It's another to be out of contention and not playing very well. That's one thing you could say about the Brew Crew. I mean, they really haven't had a whole lot to play for, you know, as far as the standings go, and trying to get into the postseason. But they've been winning some games. You see some, you know, some bright spots, some young players doing well. And the guys in the middle of the order getting it done. Craig Counsell is pleased with his team's focus and the way they've been playing baseball.
Well, guys are fighting for jobs one way or the other, whether they think they're going to gain a full-time position next year or even a backup role, a bench position or a reliever position. Brewers stockpiled their minor league system pretty well with the trades that they did make. And by not going too young, they have some players that are on the doorstep of making big-time contributions in 2016. There's no doubt about it. This one to left, base hit. So an error and a base hit to open up the 8th inning for Cincinnati. Going to bring up Bourgeois now in the top of the order.
Gofor has been getting a lot of the play with his pitches, you know, in his time in the big leagues, and he's had some really good innings, and that's when his slider's been good. Sometimes the slider becomes a little bit flat. It becomes very hittable. He gives up on it, and then he has to stick predominantly with the fastball like that pitch. 94 miles an hour. Pretty good velocity, but not a lot of movement on it. He's going to have to be more consistent going forward with the breaking ball.
Lucroy out to talk to Goforth. The 1-2-3 7th inning. But again, never want to open up the inning with a walk or an error, that's for sure. I want to give away that base to start the inning out, but that's what happened here. And then Lamar followed with a single, so 2 aboard, nobody down. Only a 2-run deficit for the Brewers. They only have 3 outs left at the plate, though. Want to make sure they keep their deficit right where it is. Nothing more. Bourgeois puts the bunt down. It goes foul. Trying to get those runners over.
Yeah, why not? You got Frazier, Votto, Phillips coming up. Reds have seen the Brewers come back throughout the series and looking to add on.
Yeah, Phillips and Bruce responsible for driving home all 5 runs, but Votto scored ahead of them on 2 occasions. This one slapped down the right field line and it'll make the stands. Nice catch. A nice gesture right there to that little boy. Way to go. That's nice. I like to see that.
Must not be the only ball he's ever caught, right? How many do you need?
That's right.
Made his day.
That is awesome. Good to see at the ballpark. Again the 0-2. And this one in the right field, a base hit. They'll hold the runner at third, so bases loaded and nobody out. And the meaty part of that order is coming up now for Cincinnati.
And a slider again, kind of flat up in the zone, and Bourgeois just sticks the bat out there and dumps it into right field.
I'll tell you, Bourgeois in the 3-game series has only been on base 3 times, but man, he has really battled, hasn't he, at the plate?
He has had a lot of high pitch at bats. Not much to show for it, though. First time he's been on base today.
Here's Frazier. He got hit with a pitch back in the 6th inning by Cravey. He also singled back in the 3rd. Takes a wave at Goforth's first delivery. Broken bat to short. Segura. Jeanette to first. They get the double play. A run does score, but the Brewers needed to get some outs there.
Yeah, Cabrera able to score after he got on base via the error to lead off the inning. You know, off the end of the bat, that was a good slider that time from Goforth. 6-4-3 on the twin killing, and Reds able to extend their lead to 3.
Here's Joey Votto. And the Brewers will waste no time and put him on.
Would have walked anyway, right?
Probably. He's walked twice in this game already. And has a base hit.
Yeah, but you have to deal with the Reds' hottest hitter. He's got 7 hits in the series. Brendan Phillips.
Fans here not happy to see Votto get intentionally walked, but that's how it goes. Brewer fans would feel the same when Ryan Braun or Adam Lind get walked. Now they will cheer because Phillips is coming up.
They boo out of obligation. I mean, that's what
right.
you do when you walk a big guy intentionally.
They didn't come here to see that, did they?
No. Same thing happens when visiting pitcher throws over to first base too much.
That's right.
There's certain times when you're obligated.
You're
to boo,
obligated
right?
to boo. It's on the back of the ticket. I think it says that.
I'm not a fan of booing, but you know, there are certain times in baseball where it's expected.
Yep. All right, here's Phillips. Big time numbers today. The 2-run home run, couple of singles, scored twice, 2 RBIs. Only been retired once, though. That was his last trip up back in the 6th. One and one now to the second baseman. As a few thunder boomers go off here. Intentional fireworks, not real thunder.
Right.
Not like the last 2 days. Again, getting ready for their big festival that starts here soon enough. Probably underway, but big fireworks tonight. Labor Day weekend. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their Labor Day weekend.
I understand the weather's nice back at home.
Yeah, pretty much like this, I think.
Right, hot,
Yep.
sunny.
Pool's still open, Rock.
Yours?
Sure. 90 degrees. Three and one now to Phillips.
He's just not consistent enough with the breaking pitch. Yeah, falling behind on the slider, just can't throw it for strikes. Can't get Phillips to chase it. Now he's in a fastball count.
Here's the 3-1. Fouled away. Phillips stays alive here, but the count now full at 3-2. Tyler Cravey came in the 6th inning in relief of Jimmy Nelson, and Goforth has the 7th and 8th of this game. So the Brewer young pitchers out of the bullpen going through some tests here in a game they want to keep close, and they walk Phillips here. Goforth does, and the base is loaded again, second time here in the inning.
I'm not exactly sure why that wasn't called a strike. Jim Wolf didn't like it. Well, he should be a pitcher's umpire, right? I mean, his brother's Randy Wolf.
That's right.
I mean, you would think anything close should be a strike. Ring him up. Randy back in the big leagues with the Tigers.
How about that? Can't take a lefty out of the league until he's ready. Until
right.
He says he's ready, right?
Lasts a long time.
When Jim Wolf was umping in the games Randy pitched, he just couldn't be behind the plate. Could be part of the crew, but not behind the plate.
I bet he'd be a pitcher's umpire then.
Yeah.
That last pitch Goforth through to Phillips, I bet would have been a strike if Randy was out there.
There you go. Registered for us. Two 2-0 now to Bruce. Nowhere to put him. An error opened up this inning. Routine play, and Jeanette was off on the throw.
And Jimenez getting loose. He pitched in both games of the doubleheader last night.
Slow roller, Jeanette to Lind, and the inning is over, but the Reds add one more to their total, and the Brewers come to bat in the ninth, trailing by 3. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Back in Cincinnati we go. The Brewers final 3 outs coming up here. They trail 6-3. And Pena now behind the plates for the Cincinnati Reds. And he will catch Aroldis Chapman, who enters the ball game for Cincinnati, trying to lock down another save.
Yeah, pretty much. He doesn't blow too many saves. He has blown 2 this year. He's 27 out of 29. Look at his strikeouts, almost 2 per inning. I mean, 98 punch outs in 55 and a third innings, with a 179 earned run average. And the bottom of the order for the Brewers coming up.
Gene Segura will get the first crack. First pitch misses high. Take a look at our lows. Never stop improving. It's Aroldis Chapman, career against Milwaukee. He's making his 35th appearance, but he has 15 saves and 16 save opportunities. Pours in a strike at 99 miles an hour. Another strike at 99 from Chapman. .140 career saves. And Segura strikes out. 1 down here in the 9th.
All fastballs, all near 100 miles an hour. That one outer half that Segura got a piece of, but into the glove of Pena.
98, 99, 99, and 88. It's coming in 99. That 88 looks like 99.
There's a changeup. See, with a 3-run lead, he kind of messes around a little bit. That was a changeup too. So back-to-back changeups. That one at 85.
Herrera 1 for 3 in this game. Wrong ball to Phillips. 2 down. Hernan Perez will now bat for Milwaukee. He will pinch hit here in the 9th inning. Four for 10 as a pinch hitter for Milwaukee. High ball 1. Perez getting a lot of playing time over at third base for Milwaukee, but Elian Herrera has stolen some of that time away because of his hot bat.
He plays against lefties, does Perez.
Count even, a ball and a strike. Perez down to his final strike. Chapman usually doesn't need too many pitches for his saves. Just missing outside. Fans wanted it. 2-2.
101 on that fastball.
And he strikes out Perez. 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and the Reds take the final game of this 3-game series and end Milwaukee's overall 6-game winning streak. 6-3 is the final here this afternoon as Jimmy Nelson absorbs the loss for Milwaukee out on the hill. The Reds used the home run bats from Brandon Phillips and Jay Bruce to power past Milwaukee here on this Sunday afternoon. So the Reds a winner here today. A good series though for Milwaukee as they take that doubleheader win on Saturday. Let's send it now to the studio and Jeff Grayson.